This is teaching Bishop Willie Dixon of a Cry for a Generation ministry. We're glad to be coming into your home by way of the internet, by way of CD. We thank God for this opportunity to preach the gospel of the kingdom. We'll be talking to you today about truth and responsibility of the truth. You know, everybody use that word, truth. Tell the truth. The truth will set you free. I don't like a lie. Uh, I like the truth. Well, the truth is that God ordained us to live a life that will give Him the honor and give Him the glory, that will manifest Him, that will demonstrate Him, that will reveal Him to humanity, to your neighbor, to your family. Uh, the whole thing about the gospel is to reveal the truth. The truth will set you free. It will break you up. It will open up doors. It will set the captive free. But everybody have a version of the truth. Everybody have their idea what the truth should be. The truth is, if a man live, he will die. The truth is, if you climb that telegram poles or light poles, and you start fooling with those wires up on that poles, you will eventually get shot. We seen on the internet some guy climbing the poles, walked the two wires till he got up to the top. The vertical wires, the two of them be coming down to the ground to stabilize the pole. This guy got in his mind, got a bright idea that what everybody else been telling him wasn't true about the electricity. So he climbed the poles and started dancing and climbing. Next thing you know, it was a big flash. Now, probably he died. It didn't tell what happened, but probably he died. The truth is, you can't fool with that electricity. Your body is not made to deal with it. The truth is, if you get shot through your ears or under your chin, that you'll die. Unless God don't want you to die, but normally you'll die. That's the truth. So we come up with version of the truth and we say, well, I don't believe God is. That's the truth. Ain't no God. Well, the evidence to that is, look around us, see the creation, see the stars, see the moon, see man, examine his body, and you'll see that man didn't create himself. There is a greater truth than man himself, being God, being the master of the universe. The master of the universe can speak life, and life will happen. In Jesus' day, when Jesus spoke to Lazarus, spoke to those that died, Elijah, whoever, Peter and them, when they spoke to those that were dead, they gave the credit to God because they knew only God could raise the dead and heal the sick and set the captive free. Today in our society, we got all type of truths, but it's gonna come a day that your truth gonna have to prove itself. Man said, "Oh, this life, after this life, there's no more life." Well, it coming a time after death, you will find out whether there's a life or not, whether you were greater than you thought you were. Well, I said all that to get to a point. There's a truth that God is supreme and He dwell in man, that He live and talk in man. Now we say, well, ain't no truth to that. Well, it's the truth also that the devil live and walk and talk in man. Man is a vessel to whom he yield himself, give his mind, give his time, give his opportunity to. That what would take his body. It is madness for a man to kill his mama. And just to go in a movie theater and kill everybody he can kill in a movie theater with a gun. Nobody said nothing to him. Nobody provoked him. Nobody said nothing. Did nothing. And he just killed everybody he could kill. You know what I'm talking about at the premiere in the movie, at the Batman movie. The Dark Knight of Rise, I believe. But anyway, this man killed a whole lot of people. The truth is something wrong with him. And that ain't way man was designed just to go off and just kill people just to kill them. So that let you know that there is a force that is wicked greater than you. There's a force that will possess you to do things that is unthought of, unheard of, that everybody will say, man, that's just foolish. That's just stupid. And people shouldn't just do that, kill up folks. They go in a school and kill everybody in the school they can kill. Just shoot everybody. Then they go empty, they load up again with these semi-automatic weapons and kill up a bunch of people. Well, we say they should ban guns. You shouldn't have no guns. Well, if that's the case, you shouldn't have man, shouldn't have life, because man the one pull the trigger. Man the one take that extra clip and put in that gun. And man the one with his mind say, it's okay, I'm going to do this. And he shoot up a bunch of people. Well, you could argue the point and say, well, man shouldn't exist then because he's wicked. Well, the truth is that man have a free conscience, a free will. That's the word I want to use. He have a free will. And he's free to do what he want to do. But, like with all freedom, you have to be accountable of what you do with your freedom. You got freedom to go to the movie or go in a mall, but you don't have the freedom to get on a megaphone and say a fire here, a bomb here. They find out ain't no fire in there, ain't no bomb in there. You gonna go to jail. They gonna handle you. If you say you got weapon, chemical weapon, well, you send some powder to the president, and it ain't got to be rising, but he think it is, you're going to jail. Well, what about your freedom? The truth is, you don't have freedom to do anything and everything you want to do. And if you do, it's a consequence come with it. You had to pay the price for your freedom. It's the same with God. God give us freedom, but it's a price we got to pay for our freedom. The life that we live will be called in account, will be called to give an account of it. We have to tell God on the day of judgment why we did what we did. We have to come before him and confess what we done. Now, it's going to be people going to lie, but when that happens, the books are going to be open. And he going to read in the book what is the accusation against you. What is the charge that you brought up on? The same that they do at the law. Black people understand this, most of us. When you go before the judge, they get the document, which is, let's say, a book, because it's a charge that's been filed against you. And they're going to figure out what is right and what is the facts sometimes. Sometimes they don't care. They just want to charge somebody for the crime. You seem like a likely candidate because you were charged with the crime. And sometimes they don't just care. They just book you and send you to prison. But it ain't going to be that way with God. The truth is that you're going to be judged fairly. You're going to be judged for the deed that is done in our body, me and you, whether they be good or whether they be evil. And we're going to have to stand before him. You can't hardly look on the TV now, on the television, as my father used to call it. You can't hardly look on that now without hearing somebody's agenda. Whether it's homosexuality, whether it's a free will lifestyle, whether it's do anything you want to do because you're going to die and leave this world. And they put propaganda on TV. Uh, you you got people that open homosexual. They movie star, they actors, and what they do is they use the TV, they use the internet, they use their television show, their radio broadcasts to broadcast their lifestyle of what they believe, what they accept, and what they think is right, and they advocate this. The truth is, the average Christian preacher, overseer, is scared to do the same. Oh, we're mentioned to a point, but we don't flood the broadcast with it. We don't flood our message with it. They flood the air with homosexuality. You look at a television show now, it's a family show, but they promote homosexuality. They got a family member that is married, male and female, and they act as normal as the man and the woman. And they want everybody to accept that. The truth is that we're going to have to give account for such action. Also the truth, if we as Christians don't put our foot down and say this is enough of this nonsense, it's going to spread. That's the truth. And they're going to take your young daughter that could have been somebody. You say women got the right to do whatever they want to do, but you'll come right back and let your kids, your daughter, be exposed to something they're going to twist their mind. And when it twists their mind, your daughter that could have been a lawyer, a doctor, a priest, preacher, a pastor, or been anything she wanted to be, her mind going to be twisted. Most of the time in the end, when people live lifestyle that go against the grain of God, go against the teaching of the Almighty God, 9 out of 10 times those people end up trying to kill themselves if they don't kill themselves because of the guilt and the condemnation. Now, here's the trick to that. It takes time for this to happen. You may do this for 10, 15, 20, 30 years and nothing happens. Then all of a sudden, your conscience begin to talk to you. And you begin to get a conflict in your mind. And you begin to break down because you can't stand the force. You can't stand the pressure of your conscience talking to you. And you end up killing yourself. Or end up drinking too much or doing too much drugs. That's because God did not design us to deal with that type of pressure, that type of situation. And since sin came, we have to deal with that type of pressure. But he made a way for us to escape it. He done gave us some do's and don'ts. Everybody have do's and don'ts. The lesbian have do's and don'ts. The murderer have do's and don'ts. Organized crime have do's and don'ts. Look like me, if you're a criminal, anything will go. But they got certain territory that they don't want nobody else to violate. Wait a minute, you stealing, you taking, you killing. What difference it make if I come over and kill and take what you got? That shouldn't make no difference. But you say, no, this is my territory. And this is the same thing a man that's trying to live right say when they make a law that you can't just come and make me sign my property over to you, sign my possession over to you. It's a law. But you don't want that. You don't want to have nothing to do with that law. You want to put your law in place. That's the same way it is about God. We don't want God's truth, but we want to set our truth in place. And when we set our truth in place, we put our guideline and our rules and our ways, and we expect everybody to obey them. And if they don't, we have penalty that they have to pay. They got to deal with us. Well, that's the same way humanity going to have to deal with God in that day. It will not be an excuse. I used to go house to house and preach the word, minister the word. And I went to everybody's house, everybody I could go to, and begin to talk with them, and everybody was a Christian. I mean, everybody had seen God do a miracle. Everybody had seen God work things out for them. Everybody I talked to. One man had an accident, him and his family. I'm thinking, he said, going out to Colorado or somewhere where a lot of mountain wood, but I think Colorado. And say he went over the cliff and he prayed, Lord, don't let me and my family die like this. And say, God spare their family. I think he got hurt. His stomach got split open. I'm thinking that's what he said. And I said, Lord, all these people got testimony. I said, I don't understand this. I said, now I know these people not saved according to what we believe and what we understand that salvation is, or what salvation is. Salvation means to be delivered from your sin, from wickedness, from the transgression against God. And we know what sin is: lying, stealing, killing, murder, so on. Anytime you violate another in a way to harm or to defraud or to take. And God spoke to me and said, they telling the truth. He say, every one of them telling the truth. That I did what they said I did. He said, but now in the day of judgment, they won't have no excuse. Because they understand that I am God. And they understand that I answered them and heard their prayer and I delivered them. And that what the truth come to do is to present itself to you, to give you an opportunity to receive it. That's what Jesus did on that cross. Gave us an opportunity to receive him. But now it's up to us. If we don't accept him and we let people put all this in our mind and bring all this before us, my mind go back to, I heard a woman talking on the internet, on Facebook, and she was talking about how the young kid doing all these different challenges, setting himself on fire, cutting their breath off, and pouring hot water on people, all kind of stupid challenges. And she was upset about it, and she had a reason to be. Because you got young people that's dying over foolishness. They don't believe the truth. The truth is, if you do these things, you're going to have problems. Sometimes you even die. Sometimes you even kill somebody. Then when you do that, see, the devil didn't tell you the rest of it. You're going to go before the law. And they're going to ask you why you did this. Why you pour that hot water on that person. Why you choked that person, took his breath from him. Why you set that person on fire. The truth is, you're going to have to pay the price, pay the penalty. When you come to preaching this gospel, they don't want the preacher to get up and say that we have a God that's going to judge man and judge the sin of man, and that is not pleased with the lifestyle that man live. They don't want this type of preaching. They want the type of preaching that you're going to be wealthy and prosper. You're going to be full of prosperity. You're going to be full of greatness. You're going to have everything your little heart can desire. And you can do whatever. And nobody to say anything about it. But that's not the truth. The truth is that we're going to have to be on account of the deed that is done in our body. Whether they be good or whether they be evil, we got to stand before God.